Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're becoming algebraic detectives. Our mission? To uncover the biggest secret of a parabola, its vertex, especially when it's trying its absolute best to hide.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. On one hand, you've got vertex form. I mean, it's pretty much an open book, right? It literally just hands you the vertex on a silver platter. It's just, okay. But then you have standard form. This is the one you see all the time, and it's a total mystery. The vertex is definitely in there somewhere, but it's completely hidden from sight.
So the big question is, how do we find that single most important point of the parabola when it's hiding in plain sight? How do we pick the lock? Well, that's exactly what we're going to solve together, and I promise it's way easier than you think.
To crack any code, you need a key, right? And lucky for us, algebra gives us a really powerful one. Seriously, think of this less like a formula and more like our secret weapon.
Okay, so here it is. This is the secret. Every single parabola has this perfect vertical line that splits it right down the middle. It's called the axis of symmetry. And what's so amazing is that there's a simple formula to find it. X equals negative b over 2a. Now here's the kicker. The vertex always sits right on that line. So this formula, this is our master key. It gives us the x-coordinate of our hidden vertex every single time. So our entire game plan boils down to 3 really simple steps. First, we use our secret weapon, that formula, to find the x value. Second, you take that x value and you just plug it right back into the original equation to find its partner, the y value. And third, this is kind of like a bonus, that c value at the end is a freebie. It's the y-intercept, which gives you a whole other point for when you're graphing.
All right, theory is great and all, but let's get our hands dirty and actually crack a few of these cases. It's time to put our method to the test.
So here's our first suspect, y equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. Right away, we've got a clue. That x squared term is positive, which tells us this parabola is going to open upwards, kind of like a smile.
First thing any good detective does is gather the evidence. For us, that means just identifying our a, b, and c values. So from the equation, we can see a is that invisible 1 in front of the x squared, b is negative 4, and c is 3. That's it. These are the only clues we're going to need.
And now we just execute the plan. We plug our clues into the formula. So x equals negative b, and our b is times negative 4. So that's a negative 4, which becomes a positive 4. All of that over 2 times a, which is just 2 times 1. So that simplifies to 4 over 2, which gives us an x-coordinate of 2. Now, we just take that 2 and plug it back into the original equation to find y. And just like that, the vertex is revealed. It's 2, negative 1, case closed.
Okay, one case down. Let's tackle a slightly different suspect, this time a parabola that opens downward. Now, it might look a little trickier, but trust me, the method is exactly the same. Our secret weapon works on any parabola you throw at it.
Once again, let's gather our evidence. Here, our a is negative 2, b is 8, and c is negative 5. Now, that negative a value, that's our big clue. It's the thing that tells us this parabola opens downward, which means its vertex is going to be the very highest point, a peak.
We just follow the steps precisely. X equals negative b, so negative 8, over 2 times a, which is 2 times negative 2. That gets us negative 8 over negative 4, which gives us a positive 2 for our x-coordinate. We plug that 2 back in for x, do the math carefully, and we find our y-coordinate is 3. And there it is. The vertex is 2, 3.
Now, every good detective needs to know the common traps, right? The little tricks that are designed to mess you up. So let's go over the 2 biggest mistakes that can completely derail an investigation like this.
This is the big one. The number 1 most common trap is forgetting about that double negative. The formula is negative b over 2a. So if your b value is already negative, like it was in our first case, you get a negative of a negative, which of course becomes a positive. Forgetting this is the single fastest way to get the wrong answer.
And here's the second major trap. Oh, it's so tempting to just look at the equation, grab the b and c values, and just call it a day. Don't do it. The vertex is never BC. You absolutely must do the calculation. No shortcuts here.
So you're probably thinking, okay, this is great for my algebra class, but when am I ever actually going to use this? Well, it turns out that finding the vertex is actually a huge deal in the real world.
So let's imagine a company. They've got this new product and their profit is modeled by this quadratic equation, where x is just the price they decide to charge. Obviously, they want to find the perfect price.
the one that will make them the most money possible. And here's where it all connects. Since the a value in that equation is negative, the parabola opens downward. This means its vertex isn't just a point on a graph. It's the absolute highest point. It is the point of maximum profit. The x-coordinate tells them the ideal price to charge, and the y-coordinate tells them the highest possible profit they can make.
So to find that sweet spot, what do? We become detectives one last time. We just need to identify our clues from that profit equation. A is -2, B is 100, and C is -500. And we just use our secret weapon one more time. X equals -b, so -100, over 2 times A, which is 2 times -2. That's -100 over -4, and the answer is 25. The company should charge exactly $25 for their product to hit their maximum profit. Our little formula just solved a massive business question.
So now you have the key. The next time you see a standard form quadratic equation, you won't see a mystery, you'll see a puzzle that you know exactly how to solve. Whether it's the arc of a basketball shot or the profit curve of a company, you now know how to find the single most important point. The secret is officially out.